Hello and welcome back to our channel, How We Move the Decimal. In this video, I am going through and listing a lot of vintage slides that I had already previously photographed. And if you're interested in those photographs, I have them in my other videos, along with some digital conversions of some of the slides. So I was talking with my husband about this, and we were wondering why our slide sales went up so much. And we do believe it was because of the category change. I talked about this in the previous video. Also, eBay has added a category, and right here I'm trying to find it. I know it exists. I've used it before. I'm going back and forth trying to find it. I think I end up pausing the video, looking at a previous slides, and finding the category that way. But they did change the photographs to film slides. It's under collectibles. It's not under photography, so that can be a little difficult, but changing the category did help sell and move the slides. So I would go back, and if you have things, old listings that maybe aren't moving, or if you saw some newer listings are moving but your old ones aren't, I would go back and look and see and make sure they're under the right categories. Some of these slides that I went and redid and edited had been on our store for 2 to 3 years, and there had been several category changes within that time. So we went and redid all of that, and some of our old slides actually started selling, so be aware of that. So the thing I want to talk about today in the video is estate sales. I talked a little bit about rummage sales in the last video, or garage sales, or whatever you call them, car boot sales if you're not from the United States, but I want to talk about estate sales. So in the area we live, pretty impoverished area, not a lot of affluence going on, but we do have several affluent areas, or like areas of slightly higher socioeconomic class. But to say to that, we have 3 estate sale companies in our area. We're a fairly large city with smaller cities around us. I would say we have at least 50,000. We used to have 80,000, but we have somewhere between 50 and 80,000 individuals in our city. There are 3 main estate sale companies, and these are not people running their own estate sales or family members running their own estate sales. These are like official estate sale companies. 2 of them are auctions, and 1 of them is what we would consider a traditional estate sale company. So the traditional company, I'm not going to blast their name on here, but if I see an estate sale being run by that company, I do not buy from that company. I won't even go to an estate sale if that company is running it. I have been to several estate sales this year, and they have all been run by another company that I'll talk about in a minute, or they've been run by like the family running their own estate sale, which is essentially the family's having a rummage sale in the house. They just open up the house. One of the ones I went to that was run by a family, they had no prices on anything, and that was incredibly frustrating. And it said like name your price or something, which can be really, really frustrating because I don't want to haul this stuff around. I don't want to get all the way up there and they say something outrageous. It can work the other way too, because they aren't going through item by item. They're not looking it up on eBay. They may not know what they have. And if you buy a lot and bundle, then this, we can do it that way. Previously, like I said, I bought this lot of slides that I'm listing as a bundle. I said, I will buy all the slides in this house. And they're like, cool, that's great. Here's all of the slides. But the estate sale that I will not go to, so if I know this company is doing it, I will not go to it. They've done a lot of really shady business in the past. They know who are resellers just because they see us around a lot. And what I found was items that I would pick up and sat down next to them to buy, they would start looking up on eBay and change the prices on me. So if it was marked at $4, they may charge me $10 to $12 or $40 or something, because they'd looked that price up and they saw that I was interested in it. And that was really shady. They also tend not to do discount days. So usually the first day is all, whatever the price is. The next day it may be 50% off, and the next day maybe 70% off or 75% off. They don't do any of that. It is what it is. They don't run sales. They've never marked down anything for me, but they have marked several of my items up, and I, again, left a really bad taste in my mouth. I've also had people that worked for this estate sale company follow me around the house and comment on what I'm looking at, comment if I don't set stuff down next to them. So after they changed the price on me that one time after I sat things down next to them, the next sale that they did, I just carried around everything. I took an IKEA bag and I carried around everything in my IKEA bag that I was going to get, because I didn't like when I set it down next to them that they raised the prices. And they didn't raise it on just one item, they raised it on several items that I put down next to them. So the next sale I went to, I brought my IKEA bag and I just carried it around with me. And they had an issue with that. They followed me around the estate sale and asked me questions and were really kind of annoying. And I didn't care for that. So now if I see that estate sale company is handling an estate sale, I won't. I just won't go, and I'll avoid it. Now I will go to, like I said, private estate sales where it's the family running it. But there are two other companies, and they're both auction companies. One is an in-person auction and one does mostly online. He also does some in person, but he does mostly online. I like the online auction option. One of the things my husband and I do is we kind of squat and wait, and things that have zero bids on them or things that are only bid up to $1, we may bid them up and see if we can get them for $2, see if we can get them for, $5. He does set the bidding increments. So sometimes you can bid $1 and sometimes you have to bid fives. So sometimes you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes you have to go 5, 10, 15, 20. It's different for different items. If he thinks it's a high price item or it'll go well, then he will set it at 5s instead of 1s. Don't have an issue with that. He doesn't this is the auctioneer that you see him in all the pictures, because he's taking pictures in mirrors and showing himself in mirrors. He's taking pictures of boxes and you see his feet. One time he took a picture with his thumb in the picture and he left it up on the online auction. So he gives 0. So he doesn't tend to look too closely at an item, and no item has a starting price. They all start at 0. Again, though, it could be $1 increments or $5 increments, but I've never had him cancel an item because it didn't get as high as it was supposed to. We bought our riding lawnmower, our tractor, from an auction that he had, and it's a really nice tractor. We expected it to go above $500 and we bought it for $250. And I was worried because we bought it for so low that he wouldn't honor the sale, but he did. He didn't say that there was a restriction on it or they had to meet a reserve or anything. And the other guy that does auctions, he does in-person auctions. So he will either go to the house and auction, or they will bring all the stuff out of the house to his auction house, and he'll auction there. I don't participate in any of the individual item auctions. So he has an indoor and an outdoor, and the outdoor is all rack wagons. And I will do the rack wagons all day long. I love the rack wagons. He'll sell whole boxes of things, like whole box of sheets for $2, whole box of plates for $1. So that is the goods they don't think there's any value in. They don't want to go through it. They don't want to waste their time doing it. And they'll put them outside on the rack wagons. And a lot of times there's no seating out there. So a lot of times people don't hang around. So I like doing that. But since the Big C happened, I haven't been able to go to an in-person auction because it's very tight, very packed, shoulder to shoulder. The last auction I went to, my youngest, who is now 4, was barely over a year old because it was pre-COVID. So I'm looking forward to going back. We may go back this summer now that numbers are very low where we're at, and we're all vaccinated. So we may go back this summer and do some auctions. We were joking about doing Father's Day weekend and hitting up auctions then, but I do like those. So the two that do auctions I like, but the one that does estate sales, if I see their sign in the estate sale advertisement, I just won't go to it. So Thanks for watching my video. Please leave a comment if you wish, like, subscribe, and tune in for my next videos.